Oh, they jumping in here, Coach. They jumping in here.
Yeah. Hey, we ain't got none of that sweet music.
Yeah, Coach. He said we going hard. No music. We coming straight out the gate for first week.
Oh, I see.
One more, guys. One more. Give them time.
All right.
Hey, Rocky, you can hear us, right?
Rocky.
Yeah, what up, Coach?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, we were saying we don't hear the music.
Oh, y'all don't hear the music? Hold on.
Nah.
Hold on, then. I gotta get it right. Then I must be doing something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank y'all, man. I had this thing all messed up.
Still don't hear it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Hold on.
It's always good when you got the answer.
Yeah. I know what the answer is.
So y'all have dug up some good information.
Coach, you know, this is a HBCU Coaches Corner with Coach Cole. gotta have your play sheet right, Coach, so you can call the right play tonight.
Yeah, that's right, Coach. That's right.
Hey, you gonna call that triple reverse, Coach?
Oh, hey, Coach. Hey, when you got them backed up, you got them on the heels, Coach. You got to put that dagger in them.
Well, you say you keep pressing on that. Now let me see it now.
There we go.
You hear it? Oh yeah. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. Hopefully y'all can hear me good too at the same time. One more. Because they're coming in here, the numbers keep going. I want to thank everybody for joining in this evening. Thank everybody for joining in. If you're on off script, don't forget to join our channel, Rocky Miller. I'll put the link here shortly. I'd like to welcome everybody to HBCU Coaches Corner. My name is Rocky, and I have my co-host with me, Mr. Stephen Campbell, the Rattler himself, the Bishop, the Detective. You got so many titles around here, I don't know what to do. And the man you came to see, the SWAC legend himself, the 2010 SWAC champion, none other than Johnnie Cole. How you doing, Coach?
Good. Hey, man, you can pick your check up. I mailed it the other day, so it must have got there. Hey, man, appreciate it, man. You know, it's always great to come in and see your dream come true, and you guys are making it happen for me, at least. You know, it ain't about the monetary value. I think I want to leave something with HBCU football because they gave me an opportunity to get in this business of coaching. Also, being able to have a college degree. So, man, I'm glad. I'm always happy on this Tuesday to get here and sit down with you guys and let's talk some football.
We got a special treat for you today. I know that a lot of teams are going to be struggling this year, Coach. You know, everybody's not going to win, Coach. You do know that, right? Everybody's not going to win.
Without a doubt.
Some people are going to have to. Some people didn't take this off season and improve their situation and their circumstance. Some people ended up in a situation where they're worse off than they were last year. And for those people, we have a special treat for you guys tonight. And I'd like to turn over the show to the Bishop, and that's Bishop Campbell at this time.
Now, Coach, you know this is HBCU Coaches Corner with Johnnie Cole. But, Coach, I know you being a championship coach, I know one thing. Before you got your team out there on the field, you always gave them a prayer, a word of motivation. So, Coach, every week, you know we have people that watch our show that actually contact the Bishop. So we're going to have our HBCU prayer line before we start the show from the people that have called. Now, we're not going to tell their names. You know, we were telling, you know, like the Cavs, you listen like a fest. I'm not going to say who it is. Right. But I got 5 prayers that I'm going to say for these people. So, Coach, we're going to start with number 1. The first prayer, we're going to say prayer for all these people that are giving bad predictions and hope that they halfway come true. Because we've heard more predictions in these last 2 weeks from people that ain't watched a bit of football or play John Madden. They clearly don't know what they're talking about. That's number right. 2, Coach, we had, of course, Bo McDowell on, and those Prairie View Panthers are very excited, Coach. So I pray that Prairie View actually has to see that all their fans are saying they're going to have. Because if they don't, we won't hear from them for the next 20 years like we didn't hear from for the last 20 years. So we're going to pray for them, Coach. We're going to pray for them.
That's right. That's right.
Now, the third prayer I'm going to say a prayer to is going to be for my former AD, OBG. I'm going to pray that she stop doing thirst trap pictures, update her resume, and get a job that she's actually qualified for. I'm saying a prayer for her, Coach, because I don't want nobody to be unemployed. You know what I mean? That's Plus, right. Don't call me borrowing no money because I ain't got no money for you.
That's right. Now,
Coach, and you can understand this because we talk to a lot of new coaches. I am saying a prayer for all the new coaches to start at least 1-0. Because, Coach, you know they'll start 1-0 and they go on 1. They already go talk about let's fire them after week 2. You already know that, right, Coach?
Right.
And then, Coach, the last thing, number 5, and this is a prayer that I'm sending all right to the Rattlers. Please come to Atlanta and win that game by at least 14 points. Because anything else, we're going to cut holy hell on this show from these Rattlers and all these people talking about they're going to put dirt on our grave. So I am praying, Coach, that when we look up at that scoreboard, we at least will have won by at least 14 points. And that still won't be enough for some people, Coach. So that's the prayer line for the day, Coach. That's the prayer line. 5 prayers.
That's a good prayer line because unfortunately, 75% of all head coaches are losers. Unfortunately, you know, and there's only certain guys who got it. You know what I'm saying? And some guys walk into good situations, you know. But man, I'm for it. I'm gonna go find me a couple of them that we need to pray for as well.
Coach, yeah, pass along, Coach, and tell them we're not going to reveal their name, but if they want us to do a prayer for them, we'll take a prayer. Now, Coach, I do want to say it now, and we are joking, but we are very serious here. I see in the chat. They said there's a coach from Langston that apparently has passed away. So, Coach, did you know anything about this? That they're talking about in the chat?
I didn't see the chat from Langston.
Okay, yeah, from Langston. So we definitely, like I say, this is HBCU Coaches Corner. So please tell us the name of that coach because Coach Cole might know that coach, and like I said, we always want to, like I say, support and prayers to that coach's family. Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. All right, Rocky. We done said our prayer. Now we can get back to the coach's corner now. Let Coach start calling the plays.
Yeah. I just went and done the search. It looks like that coach was Coach Daryl Mason, the offensive coordinator, suddenly passed away.
Oh, wow.
On August the 17th. So
okay.
Prayers with him and his family, the HBCU family. Please pray for him. If you guys know him or know his family, please send our condolences because this is it's a terrible time in their family, and I pray for their strength as we get ready for this football season. That's awful. With no further ado, Coach, I got something we gotta address. And this is something that came across my desk. And let me see. Hopefully you guys can see it. If not, we'll this came across my desk. If you guys can't see it, I don't know. I can't zoom it in, but I'll read it off for you guys. And I'll just go over the rankings. I'll read the rankings to you. Because I think this is worthy of taking a look at. Now, this is from the dean of HBCU Media. This is Dr. Cavill's HBCU Sports Lab poll, and I'll read it from 1. We'll go through the top 10 first. He has North Carolina Central at number 1. The Rattlers from Florida A&M 2. Number 3 comes in number 3 is Jackson State. Number 4 is the Howard Bisons. Number 5, Alabama State Hornets. Number 6, Morgan State Bears. Number 7, the South Carolina State Bulldogs. Coming in at number 8, the Prairie View A&M Panthers. And number 9, inexplicably, indubitably, the Alabama A&M Braves. And number 10, the Alcorn State Braves.
Yeah, number 9 is Alabama A&M Bulldogs.
Yeah. I got.
Yeah,
they was in the wrong spot, so I read it wrong. So Alabama State Bulldogs. So let me say this, Coach. That's the top 10, and I'll just call the rest of it out. Number 11 is Tennessee State. Number 12 is Grambling. Number 13, Norfolk State. Number 14, Bethune-Cookman. Number 15, Southern. Number 16, Hampton. Number 17, Texas Southern. Number 18, UAPB. Number 19, Mississippi Valley. Number 20, North Carolina A&T. And number 21, Delaware State. So that's the Division I on the Division I side. And that's the one I really wanted to take a look at and see. I see one thing that's glaring to me. What does Dr. Cavill know about Alabama A&M that we don't know?
Wow. I don't know. I know Dr. Cavill personally. He's a very smart man. I guess he academically put some numbers in and came up with some things, but definitely there's some questions about that. And rankings are like opinions. Everybody have one, So there's definitely some arguing about that list or some discussion about that list. I see Alabama way, Alabama A&M up in the hunt of it. Put that list back up for a minute, Coach.
Okay. The other thing that kind of puzzles me, Coach Cole, is that he has North Carolina A&T below Mississippi Valley.
Way down there. Yeah. Woo! Yeah.
Talking about setting the bar low.
Yeah. Well, most definitely. I get it, Delaware State's down there and Mississippi Valley, but I just can't buy that North Carolina A&T ain't got somebody. Of course, they playing in a different league than all these other schools, because I've been coached at Tennessee State when we was in the Ohio Valley Conference. And for some reason, the white schools do have or have had success on most black schools. But that makes you even better. I see Tennessee State sitting there at number 11. I mean, his best year has been just 6-5?
Mm-hmm.
So they got them up there right in the middle. So why not North Carolina A&T just a little higher?
Bishop Campbell, what do you know about Alabama A&M? I sent a text out to my homeboy, Dr. Cavill, and yeah, he is my real homeboy. Me and him are both from East Waco, Texas, so that is my homeboy. And so what I asked him was, what does he know about the HBCUs? What he knows about Alabama A&M that the rest of the HBCU media doesn't know? And he read it, and he left me on red, so he didn't share it with me. Whatever he knows, he didn't share it with me. And so, hey, guys out there in the chat, if you know something about Alabama A&M that the rest of us don't know, please share it with us, because I have them nowhere near the top 10 in my personal rankings, and I'm interested to hear what the Bishop has to say about them.
Well, I am on record, and I have a bet with a Alabama A&M alumnus, Jay White, that I've already told him they're only winning 2 SWAC games, and they're only winning 4 total. So for Dr. Cavill to have them ahead of Alcorn, which is predicted by the SWAC to win the West, predicted by you all, the Coaches Corner, to win the West. For him to have them, then listen, he must really know something. Now, Coach, you know, we do a lot of research. We've looked at depth charts. We've looked at quarterback starting. And, Coach, you being an offensive guru, I don't see anything that has said that this team has improved to the point where they will be ahead of all. Think about this now, Coach. They've got them ahead of Alcorn, ahead of Grambling, and ahead of Bethune-Cookman. And I think we all agree.
They're ahead of Southern, too, isn't
it? And ahead of Southern. So the fact that if we put the list of the 12 teams, I would dare say at best they would be 8. At best, we probably could name 8 teams ahead of them that we've talked about. So, you know, I'm bewildered by this when I saw this, because there's no way I'm not a believer in Alabama A&M. And like I say, great people. But like I say, I could just quickly just go over the loss. Alabama State's going to beat them. FAMU's going to beat them. I think they play. You know what? Let Rocky pull up their schedule.
Yeah, I'll do that right now. Just give me a second to get to it, because that's.
Well, we just put 4 teams ahead of them just then.
So
they go from 9 to 13. So that's what I like it.
So that's the thing, and this is what I love. You know, again, what's respect to Dr. Cavill. Like I say, has been doing this a long time. He'd already said since 2002, 20 years ago. But, Coach, I don't know. I think, Coach, this might have been a typo. I think he didn't mean to put him at 9. I think he meant to put him at 19.
He must have got sleepy right in the middle of that. And
I think he got confused with that.
Yeah, he might have thought it was Alabama State.
It had to be. It had to be, Coach. It had to be. And let's talk about this though, Coach. While Rocky's pulling it up, how far has the 4-time Celebration Bowl champ North Carolina A&T fallen that he has got them at number 19 out of 20, Coach?
Yeah, that's that's crazy. But what he's judging them on, evidently he's not judging them on their schedule, because the people they play definitely can be probably in the top 10 in our conference.
Right.
So even though they might show up with a bad record, but they playing good teams and good football. So it's kind of unfair to A&T.
And I see Bfield 1914 said talking about stop. We getting ready to show you. I want you to tell me what games other than Mississippi Valley, and I think I got them beating Arkansas Pine Bluff, that they're going to be favored to win.
Well, Coach, I see they open up with the Auburn Tigers. You think they have a chance of upsetting them?
So get get on back to Huntsville.
So hopefully it ain't too long of a drive. Hopefully it ain't too long of a drive. And it includes an overnight stay and a good meal in Auburn at least. Then we got Kentucky State at home. I think they'll probably pull that one out.
Yeah.
What about Georgetown, Kentucky? I never heard of them.
They'll beat them.
Yeah, they'll beat them.
Now, Austin P. Austin P.
They'll lose it.
They're going to lose that one.
They're going to lose that one.
And I'll let you answer this one, Steve.
Listen, do you know my nephew, Zoe Phillips, and check him out. They got a new show coming out. My nephew from Jack State told me that he has been his aunt all his postal paychecks that we're going to lose this game. Is he crazy? I'm going to use that to buy me another Escalade all the money I'm about to win off that game right there. Because I need a new one. So I'm going to use that. So FAMU definitely. FAMU by 30 on that game.
So, yeah. So,
then they come back with Jackson State.
And like I think we talked about this. They got Florida A&M, Jackson State, and
Lost.
That's a triple L is what they call that.
And they play Bethune-Cookman at. They play them in Daytona, right?
No, they play them in
Huntsville.
That is the game that they got to get for me to lose my bet. And I'm sorry, I think Bethune-Cookman has a team that is going to scare a lot of people. And I think they are ready, and I think this is going to be one of those games that Bethune-Cookman wins. So I got that as a loss.
And then we got Alabama State.
Come on, man. That might be the U-Haul game right there, Coach.
Coach, so you said the Magic City Classic. Matter of fact, you're saying that Coach Maynard may not even make it to the Southern game, huh?
I think the U-Haul is going to be right down there. Coach, I know you, Coach, you've been down there. You know that. Right when you come up there to the stadium, that little back road, when you come, because a lot of people don't know, it's not, that stadium does not sit off the highway. It's like in the neighborhood.
Right, it's in the neighborhood.
In the neighborhood. So, Coach, they're going to have that U-Haul on that little street where that old lady had her house selling them fish plates, and they can just take the stuff right on out there. Now, look at this.
When he walk out the locker room after the game, they're gonna say the police car right there. They're gonna go escort you back to the building. Yeah, that's gonna be a tough one.
Look at it.
Now, Mr. Campbell, do they have a chance at going undefeated in November?
Hold on, let's get back to SU. Where's that game at, Rocky? That game is where?
In Bama. In old Bama.
In Alabama. I'm still gonna go with the band school because the band school got something to prove. Because they came to Alabama last year and lost to Alabama State. They can't just keep going to Alabama lose. So I'm going with the band school on that game.
Hey, Coach. Unless if there's a reschedule, Coach, you might get that one. That Southern Alabama A&M game, Coach.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. With HBCU Go, I might step in on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we got the bottom of the barrel coming up the rear, and they have Arkansas Pine Bluff.
They'll win that game.
And Mississippi Valley.
Now, so I'm gonna ask the people to check. You tell me where you see 3 wins at.
It's in
the SWAC
Valley and Itabena. I think that's how you pronounce it.
I got that game. I got that game.
You have that game, Coach?
Yeah. I have the toilet bowl. Yep, I got that game. I'll be the announcer that Mississippi Valley and Alabama.
And that's going to be on the grill, looks like. That's going to be on the grill. All right, cool. That's a nationally televised game.
Coach, you better have your notes together and be able to tell. See, Coach, that's going to be one of them games you have to tell a lot of stories. Because that's going to be one of those. It's going to be almost like a baseball game. Coach, you got to tell them stories about Valley and how they used to be with Jerry Rice and Willie Totten and the gunslinger on that one, Coach.
Hey, Coach. I'm pretty sure we're going to hear about those 6 touchdowns when Jerry Rice was playing for Mississippi Valley and you were playing for TSU. I'm sure those 6 touchdowns. You go tell it.
Yeah. Hey, and Willie threw 8, so it was a bomb burner. You know, that game lasts over 3 hours.
What the defenses got left on the bus? What happened?
Oh man, hey, they didn't even have to come out after halftime. They didn't have to come out. Man, it was up and down the field. I mean, you know, after that game, me and Willie just hugged each other in the middle of the field. You know, we've been friends. We've been lifetime friends. And
hey,
so,
Coach,
we went back and forth.
But Coach, on that, speaking about Alabama A&M, I don't see where they've retooled to the point to where they can be a top 10 HBCU team. I just haven't seen that. There may be some belief in Coach Maynard that he has, but we'll see. That's the one thing about it. It'll all be decided on the field, and we'll get a chance to see how it turns out. But I don't think they have I don't think they have any chance of being a top 10 team, in my opinion.
Yeah, they've been downtrended for a while, and it really came from when they won the game versus during the pandemic, and so they've been on the downtrend since then. And you know, you hear stories out there in the street that Maynard is looking to try to get back towards his home, and so hey, they might give him a ticket. You know, we never know. But them winning a conference, they're not going to do that. So if that's the expectations, they need to start looking for a new coach now.
Well, like I say, I'm not surprised that Dr. Cavill picked Prairie View over Alcorn. I think that's a toss-up in my opinion. But like I say, I'm certainly surprised that Alabama State is in the top 10. So, but Coach, I wanted to ask you, talking about this ranking, and then I want to go over the D2 rankings just briefly, and they're too blurred for me to put on the screen. So I'll just address the one issue that I have in along with the ranking. But Coach, how does a blue blood school like North Carolina A&T end up in the cellar of HBCU football?
Well, you got to build continuity and consistency, and they've had three different coaches since they left the MEAC, and so that's not good at all. And playing, in my experience in OVC, playing against PWI schools, that means predominantly white schools, the game is much different. I'll tell you, I had more. My stats was better in the Ohio Valley Conference than actually when we put the black schools together, because we used to play Jackson State every year, Florida A&M every year, and it used to be a dogfight, But when we played the OVC schools, when we first jumped in, what they had over us was facilities and stuff. And as we got our
now, Coach, tell them where you were coaching at, Coach. Just remind people where you were coaching at when you're talking about.
Oh, I was at Tennessee State.
Yeah,
would be right there. That ring there and that one right there. Those two on that side. And so it was a different game of calling plays, because they're more predictable, meaning they're going to get in this defense. They're going to stick to this defense. Everybody going. And so I was probably a little different from them, because I kind of did a lot of razzle-dazzle. I showed a lot of formations. And so it was easy to put points up. But when we first got there, it was hard because our players weren't strong enough. Now, they players going to be physically strong. They're going to be in the right place. And so that's a difference of coaching, I think, in a PWI and coaching in the SWAC or the MEAC. So if you don't have that type of style, then you're going to struggle a little bit.
Coach, let me ask you a question. Being a coach, and you know in these schools, when FAMU was down, and people know I've talked about Jack State. When Jack State's down, the fan bases were demanding that there become a winning culture. Jack State got back on track. FAMU. Does North Carolina A&T, do they care about football enough where, you're talking about the largest HBCU, $200 million in endowment, recent success of football, but do they care enough where they're going to put pressure to say, hey, we don't accept being 1-10? Or are they just going to say, hey, you know what? We're good, and we're going to keep it moving, and if we win, we win. If we're not. Because at FAMU, I'm just going to tell you, we were losing our minds when we were getting those 1-10 seasons. Yeah. It was depressing.
I think the pressure will come more from the alumni to probably end up getting back into the MEAC. Because here's the other thing. See, those PWIs don't travel to your school. But when you travel to their school, they pack the house. Why? It's because you're bringing the band as well. So I think A&T will get back on the winning ways, but they got to get the right person in there as well. And, and they got to make that commitment of getting the right person in there. And so I just don't think that they were really prepared to move in there and prepared to move in there with the right guys. And it's going to cost them. When they start seeing their enrollment drop, I guarantee you they'll start thinking either they're going to try to get another coach in there that can coach in that conference, or they're going to have to move back to the MEAC. And I think it'd probably be leaning for them to come back to the MEAC.
Coach, let me ask you this. You've been around, both of you guys can answer this. There have been blue bloods that have had kind of lulls in their success. Has there been any commonality on the HBCU side of what the teams have done to revive their programs? You mentioned that Florida A&M was down for a while. We've talked on the show that and said that Jackson State was down for a while. I consider both those programs are blue bloods. Now we're in a space where Southern is down and A&T is down. Is there anything you would recommend those blue blood programs do in the immediate future to revive those programs?
Well, I'll tell you, when administrators start getting into choosing the football coach and putting together a schedule and moving their programs, I think they do it for the wrong reasons. And that's what happens when non-football people get involved with football decisions. It always happens. I know you know at Florida A&M about Billy Joe, and you could tell that story. We've been crying, the SWAC been crying for Tennessee State for years. Gail Sayers back in the late 80s is the one put Tennessee State in the Ohio Valley Conference. And the only time they've ever won the conference is those two rings right there. And that's been now 40 years. Yeah, 30 years. I'm sorry. It's been 30 years that they've been in that conference, about 25 years, and only won it twice. And that was in 98 and 99, and they ain't seen the likeness of it. And I think when people that don't know football start getting involved, they make wrong decisions. Just like at Jackson State, when they brought Coach Bell and not stay with the status flow of keeping on hard and assistant and keeping things the same, they went outside. And it killed Jackson State. I mean, Jackson State just nosedived. But now they got it back going in the same way. And you can tell them about Florida A&M, Coach Campbell.
Well, I want to say something, Coach. You hit it. This is the HBCU Coaches Corner. And, Rocky, you know what I've always seen that Coach can speak to this? This has to do with the selection of the coach.
Yeah.
You select a good coach, that program will turn right around really quick. This is the thing that we see all the time when we look at these programs. And Coach Cole talks about this all the time. And I'm going to say this now. People want to put Sean Gibbs at FAMU. Sean Gibbs will be a perfect fit in North Carolina A&T.
Yeah.
He's been up there. He knows the culture. He knows North Carolina. I think he could go up there and make an immediate splash. I think that will be the type of coach. He's young. He's dynamic. Because I think what happens when you, to your point, and like I said, and I want to say this, Vincent Undertaker Brown is one of my favorite players. Let's be clear. One of the greatest all-time SWAC linebackers at Mississippi Valley State. Played for the New England Patriots. So I'm always rooting for my SWAC Mississippi brethren to be successful. But sometimes things are not the right fit. And I think when you're talking about a school like North Carolina, they were known for speed and size. They could do it offensively. They could do it defensively. So to me, I think they should get an offensive guy in there because there's a lot of talent in North Carolina. And there's North Carolina A&T, far as the reputation of the school, has a great reputation right now, honestly. They get 30,000 people that's trying to come to the school. So to me, this goes back to what you said, Coach. Who is the next coach that is being incubated and prepared to be able to take that job? And to me, the only guy that I can just say right offhand is a Sean Gibbs.
Well, just speaking about A&T, but it's a lot of programs that's bad. I mean, Mississippi Valley been bad for years, Coach. Years. Pine Bluff, it's been bad. When Comey was there, he won 2 SWAC championships in 10 years, but them other 8 years was all losing football seasons. You know what I mean? So like you said, it's about the person that you choose. But here's the issue, guys. The window is small for Black coaches, Black successful coaches. So what these schools keep doing, like, it's no way that Mississippi Valley shouldn't call my phone. There's no way that Mississippi Valley should call LC Cole's phone. It's a way that they should call Fred McNair. All winning coaches who have winning formulas. You know what I mean? But they keep going out, trying to get, we can't pay a guy like a Johnnie Cole. Coaches don't necessarily, quote unquote, coach for money, because it's a stare. You go somewhere, you win, you move up. So a lot of times, these people who be making decisions, man, they don't ask the right questions. They're not looking for the right people, and you got to know where you are. If I'm a perennial losing school, why am I going to go get a guy that ain't had no experience? Or he's a running back coach at some BWI school. How's he going to come to Valley? He don't even know where to start. You know what I'm saying? So you got to go after what you need. So, for instance, Florida A&M. They stayed with Cozy, great. Or they could have went with the other guy, you know what I mean? Because they was here. They don't need a guy to come in there. You know, all he got to do is come in there and squeeze the gun. So Cozy's been in there. He don't clean the gun up. He let Simmons shoot it. But now Simmons said, all right, you've been cleaning this gun. Now you can just, all you got to do is squeeze the trigger. You know, when we left Tennessee State, we come off of 2 back-to-back championships. They gave the job to the running back coach, who that's the only place he ever been. And all he had to do was squeeze the trigger. But he had people in his ear and he didn't understand and he wasn't ready yet. The program died. So, you know, these people got to sit and talk to the right people when they start to quit making them buddy deals.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And that's what we do. We make buddy deals. Or this guy's nice. Or this guy came in the interview. Oh, he had a Bible in his hand. Man, that don't have nothing to do with coaching football. You know what I'm saying? I just it kills me, Coach, when I see these guys, man. I mean, I pray that Chris Dishman can get it done at Texas Southern. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But when you look at the numbers, for Texas Southern, but when you look at the numbers, it don't add up. Texas Southern is a perennial losing program. I don't know, but we will see. We definitely will see. You know what I mean? And they brought in 5 coaches, and ain't none of them won. Alabama A&M, they always right there. They always got a good program. Maynard ain't doing terrible there. He ain't winning the championship. It's the same thing when Anthony Jones was there. A&M was right there. They went to the championship game one time and lost, but that was there. He was always finishing second place. So, you know, and I'm glad Jackson State got back on them. You know, keep handing that baton off to a Jacksonian, and they're going to keep winning.
Absolutely.
Let me ask y'all this, Coach, and then we'll move on to our featured topic. You know, again, I'm gonna make a comparison to other PWIs. Has there been any success with elevating Division II, NAIA, HBCU coaches that were head coaches and successful on that level, and bringing them to the blue blood programs to be successful? Like if a guy was, so let me give you an example. If a guy was successful, say at maybe he won a championship in the SIAC or the CIAA, and then he was brought to a bigger school and was able to win a championship in the MEAC or the SWAC. That's kind of what I'm.
Yeah. That happens. I mean, you know, in my case, I was at Lane, you know, Division II, and were able to go to Texas Southern. You look, Chennisberry was at Benedict, and now he's at South Carolina State. You know, that probably would do well. So yeah, you know, there's some coaches, but what happens is very few Black college coaches that's able to jump up there. You know, the Division I HBCU schools are always chasing PWI Black coaches. You know, instead of turning over the coaches. My man up at Morgan State, you know, he got Bowie State going.
Yeah,
you know, Wilson, Coach Wilson up there. So yeah, it's a lot of that turnover, but it just hasn't been a lot of it lately.
Well, my man Ted, he stole my thunder. Billy Joe came from Central State. Central State was a powerhouse, and when I say they were beating all comers, this is a school that Hugh Douglas played for and great defensive end.
They were
played for the, yeah. And I mean, they beat all comers. Hey. But let me tell you what, Billy Joe, and like I don't want to get too, I know we got a big game to talk about, but Billy Joe was really the first person that really knew how to use transfers that came down to the level and brought those guys in from that Midwest and from the South. They played at, you know, Power 5 schools, and he would bring them in. And he had, I mean, the talent that he had, because matter of fact, the quarterback, the quarterback from Oklahoma, Coach, you remember that, the option quarterback that came behind Jamel Holloway.
CT.
Exactly.
Yeah, Thomas.
Came,
Thomas.
Yep.
Yeah.
Came and played for.
My brother them actually played for Billy Joe.
Charles Thompson.
Billy Joe actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Charles Thompson. Billy Joe actually recruited me.
The person I want to say that I remember, first person I didn't that let me know his Central State was a HBCU, was the great Eric Williams, one of the nastiest offensive linemen to ever play in the NFL. And if it wasn't for a car accident, it derailed what was on the pace for a Hall of Fame career.
Yeah.
Eric Williams. So they were. Go ahead.
Without a doubt. I mean, they were NAIA national champs, and James Woody was the quarterback up there. You know, of course, you know, I'm 30 minutes from Central State. My brother was All-American on one or two of those teams, and Billy Joe had it going in the right direction. You know, and you know, he come from Villanova, and Billy Joe actually played pro ball with the Eagles. So yeah, Coach Joe was one of those guys. He's one of those Pete Richardsons, and you had those. You got Billy Joe. When you look back there, guys that actually coached in the conference in the last 40 years that had no HBCU background. Billy Joe, Rod Broadway, Pete Richardson. I can't name any more. You know,
but I thought Pete Richardson coached at Winston-Salem before he coached.
Yeah, but he went to University of Dayton.
You talking about okay. Yeah,
and then he played with the Buffalo Bills. So that's what I was saying. I mean, because Rod Broadway got his first start after 20-some years with North Carolina Central and was successful. You know what I mean? You know, Pete Richardson coached me in high school, and he went on to leave there and start coaching the running backs at Winston-Salem under Bill Hayes. And speaking of Bill Hayes, and we're gonna talk about, I'll get that in about him because he's about to be inducted into the HBCU Hall of Fame, as well as they're about to name the stadium after him at North Carolina A&T. So I want to make sure we get that. But when you talk about Black successful coaches in Black college football, most of them came from HBCU schools.
Well, that's a
trend that needs to be talked about, huh, Coach Campbell? They didn't come from the outside. They came from right on campus. You know what I mean?
Well, I think, you know, my point was not where they went to college as much as it was where did they get their coaching experience. Yeah, and so that coaching experience being successful at a lower level, to me, that's always a factor on how to predict whether a coach is going to be successful at a higher level is where you're successful at a lower level. Now, I know, there are other factors that you can take into account. You take a situation where you were assistant of a very successful coach. Some of those guys kind of elevate and then they're successful as well. But I just wonder, is there a blueprint for getting a quality coach? Because it seems like here recently, since I've been in HBCU football, they've really boogered it up pretty good all over the place to the point to where there's only one coach now from the SWAC Media Day 3 years ago. So,
well, one thing, everybody don't have the winning formula, and I know I bark this all the time about only 75% of the coaches are winners. I mean, 25% are winners, 75 are losers. You got to be able to come up with. Look at Nick Saban. It's almost every guy that come from his tree goes and win where they are because they stick and stay with the plan, And if you don't stick and stay and really believe in the plan, the winning plan, then you fall off. For instance, me and my brother has a tree, of guys that came on for us, guys that came behind Pete Richardson, have some success. With Dooley, Dooley had a little success as an office coach. He come up under Pete Richardson. So you gotta look at that of where these guys come from. You know, what's the formula of winning that you understand about why did we win here? And you got to know that culture of what you got to change when you get to those places. And a lot of times the coaches that get seduced with talent are not good coaches. I'd rather take a good program than a bunch of talent, and I guarantee you program beat talent every time. So, you know, you really would have to study some of these guys and where they came from.
Coach, let me, and this is my last question, because as we talk about coaches, why don't ADs involve other coaches in the selection process of coaches, or the former coaches, retired coaches?
Because of Jerry Jones. With Jerry Jones, Mr. Kevin, you might agree with this. Since Jerry Jones came into the forefront of buying the Dallas Cowboys owner, and he all down at practice. Damn, I think I seen one time he threw a pass. He all down making, you know, coaching changes, buddy with the players, letting them know that I'm the boss and the coach ain't the boss. And when he got rid of Jimmy Johnson, you know, that was crazy. But what he did was start sending a signal, and maybe I'm wrong. I start seeing these athletic directors be out front. They start being out front and on the sideline and in meetings and all that kind of stuff. Man, you're supposed to be in the background. I just believe like any family, you know, there's the dad, and then there's the mom, and then there's the kids. The kids got to be able to fear the dad. You know what I'm saying? Or they got to be able to fear the coach. And if the coach don't have that string and that handle on his players, they not gonna get they not. Especially if I can run to Jerry. And I told people 20 years ago, I said the Cowboys would never win until Jerry Jones step away. You know, again, until he step away. And so that's what I see a lot now with these athletic directors of making choices who's never even played the game before. And I ain't saying you got to play the game to make the right choice. But damn it, like you just said, you got to be able to call some winning coaches and see and get some intake to be able to make good choices. And again, I go back to what I said earlier. You got to know where your program is at. What kind of coach do I need to come in here to make sure that I can get this program going in the right direction?
Hey, Coach. Hey, that's a sermon all in and of itself here on HBCU Coaches Corner. Hey, I want to encourage everybody to, let me go ahead and I'll put the link in later so you can go to, if you're watching on off script. If you're watching on off script, please, I'll put in the link. Go to the link. Follow us. Follow Rocky Miller on our YouTube page, and you can come back to off script and do your chatting, whatever. But I would definitely appreciate if you guys would go over there and follow, like and follow. Go over there and like and follow. It helps us out with the algorithm. Also, if you're watching on Scotty's channel, do not forget to like and subscribe on his channel as well. That's very important, right? We're a team over here in the HBCU space. We're not competitors. We need all the love on both channels. So, Coach, before we get started again, Coach, I just want to man, I forgot my train of thought. Lord have mercy. Oh, this is what I wanted to say. I'm gonna put the phone number up before we finish our review of the SWAC MEAC Challenge. We're not gonna be here all night. If you're gonna call, we need you to be on the call line when we finish up our review, so we can get to the callers and then get out of here. If you don't call in, that's fine. We don't mind. But if you want to get your call in, be on the line and ready to go. By the time we finish our review, I'll put the number up. But with no further ado, let's get started with our review. All right, Coach, football is here, Coach. Football is here. we'll be at the SWAC MEAC Challenge. I know I'll be there, and Mr. Campbell will be there. Coach has had some unexpected bad news, and we're praying for him and his family. And so I don't know what his arrangements are going to be. But we'll make whatever accommodations we need to during that difficult time to cover the game in lieu that if in fact he has to be absent. But we're going to be on the ground. We're going to be boots on the ground on this game. We're going to lay eyes on this game, and I can't wait to see this game live and in person. But I'd like to go to you guys before we get started on the official review. Can you guys get some history on what this game is and how did this game come to pass and what it means for HBCU football being showcased like this at the beginning of the college football season?
Go ahead, Coach Campbell.
Well, here's the thing. As we know, this kicks off officially the college football season. This is the one game that has the spotlight on ABC. A lot of our powerhouse programs are played in the MEAC SWAC Challenge. And I think this is part of that mission that I think that the commissioner and both conferences have really worked to do, is to get us on national TV so people can see our games. So you're talking about ABC, Saturday night, only game in town. A lot of people be able to watch it. Like I say, the defending HBCU national champion, Norfolk State, comes into town. So I'm just excited. Anytime we can get exposure for our players, our schools, our athletic departments, is always a win for us. So again, the MEAC SWAC Challenge is not something that's been going on for 30, 40 years. It's relatively recent, especially playing in Atlanta, because I think they used to play in Orlando when they first started off. Yeah. But now Atlanta is the perfect spot for it. And I think it really gets people excited because you know the one thing about it, it gives us a week early for everybody to talk about their teams. So that's what I really, 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 really like that. I really, really like that. Absolutely.
Well, you got the East Coast teams, and then you got the SWAC, and the SWAC is more popular than the MEAC. Because of all the great players that came out to SWAC, under Eddie Robinson and those guys. And it always been, who is the best schools? Who plays the best football? The great thing about it is that I could say in the MEAC is more defensive guys. In the SWAC, we were more wide open than they were. And so that made a good challenge. We always, with your Doug Williams and those type of guys. And then they had people like Willie Lanier. And this go way back, and I know I'm talking way back, Willie Lanier and all that. And so that's the base value of it, the bragging rights between the MEAC and the SWAC. It's fun times. When the game get there, of course you got people that's from the South and people from the East Coast, and mostly all of us, some way and somehow always came from the South, during slavery and after that. So it's just a great challenge. I look forward to it. I wish, these games would have been around, when I was a player, because, you always heard about how good the MEAC teams are. And of course, they have heard about how the SWAC teams are. So it's a great challenge. It's good for our African-American people. It's almost take y'all with me back, Campbell, to the 60s.
Yeah.
When we couldn't play it to other schools. You know what I mean? So now it's back, but it's back in a different way of it's on national television. Back then, they didn't know our greats. Now they get a chance to see our great coaches and our great players, and it's just gonna be a wonderful event. And I'm gonna be there, Coach. I think most likely I'm gonna be there. It's more than like an 80% chance that I'll be there.
Awesome.
So
let's get this thing going. Rocky, go ahead.
So now I picked up a few storylines just by going through articles that we shared amongst one another. And of course, if you listeners and followers or see any other storylines in this game that we may have missed, One of them that I picked up is one that you sent me, Mr. Campbell sent both of us, is that surprisingly, Norfolk State was picked to finish 5th. And it's only a surprise because they had 12 players listed or 13 players listed on the MEAC all-conference team. So in one hand, you have them saying, hey, they're uber talented. On the other hand, you say they're the next to the last team in the MEAC. So, Coach, when you have that situation, what are they thinking about the program? What is the media thinking about the program and the coach?
The media is just like media. Some of them are just going by, not really doing their homework. There's no way that a 5th place team got 13 kids on the all conference team. Sometimes, man, that stuff is overrated. Sometimes it's political, where I'm gonna vote for your guy, you vote for my guy. That's definitely how it be. And then they still rank number 5 with 13 players returning, and we got 20 players. Florida A&M lost 20 players. Well, it should be a no-brainer who should win the game on paper, but we all know that ain't true. We all know that's not true. And Coach Odom is not good for Coach Odom. Because if I'm an AD or I'm somebody and I'm saying, well, we got 13 kids. Coach, I didn't say returning. I say they're the best in the conference. You got 13 starters that's the best in the conference. And all you gonna tell me we finished in 5th place? Then it ain't the kids. It's who, Coach? It's the
See,
coach.
that is such, when I saw that, when we were doing research for this, because I knew one of the things that they had a very young team, that they were bringing back a lot of starters, right? Just overall for the team. And a lot of guys were freshmen, sophomores. I think I saw an interview. Coach Odom talked about a lot of his guys were young. But, Coach, to your point, even if people just don't know football, right? For you to have on the first and second team, and mind you, the quarterback was the all MEAC quarterback. He got hurt. So they actually have 12 now. But to have 12 players, more than Central, more than Howard, because I think Howard was next with 12. So they're now tied. To have that much quote unquote talent.
Well, and they've got two teams had 12.
Howard had 12 on the first and second team, not the first team now, on the first and second teams, between first and second teams. I want to be clear. Not first team. So first team offense, first team defense, second team offense, second team defense. So we're talking 48 kids, not counting the specialists. Right. So we're talking about almost 55, 60 kids almost.
Yeah, but let's throw them out. Let's talk about the kids. You're talking about 48 players.
AJ Jones.
BS3 Network. Changing the way you watch TV.